the AFC West, and since week 5, they have outscored their opponents by a combined 55 points, which is really remarkable. They are surging, they are getting healthy. Even though the Denver Broncos have a 2.5 game lead on the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are the more complete team, and I'm very worried about Bo Nix and this Denver Bronco passing offense. Love their defense, but ultimately, by the time we get to the 17th game, the Kansas City Chiefs are back on top.
This is iced tea, but the ice is perhaps starting to melt a little bit right now, because I agree. I think the best team in the NFL, the scariest team in the AFC West, I should say, is the Kansas City Chiefs. That being said, we are now going into week 11, and they are not just behind the Broncos by 2.5 games, as Mike T mentioned, but also the Chargers, who they are 2 back in the win column of. And keep in mind, the Chargers beat the Chiefs all the way back in week 1. They play again down the stretch. That being said, the Chiefs are one of those teams that if they just make it into the playoffs, which I think they will, are going to be a frightening team to welcome as a home playoff contender. Maybe it's the Patriots, maybe it's the Colts, maybe it's whoever wins the AFC North.
All right, we say that every single season, pretty much. It's the same.
Stay
same
away
story.
from the Chiefs
exactly.
in the
We
playoffs.
don't see them in the
It's been a hot
playoffs.
topic
Okay,
for the
Mike T.
Chiefs, who were 0-4 in those games this season. The 4 losses co-leading the league. This after going an NFL record 12-0 a year ago in these such games. Broncos on the right end of close games this season. Their 6 wins co-leads the NFL. J-Mac, if this one is close, do you expect the trend to continue?
I do expect the trend to continue, and it's hard to say that when you know Patrick Mahomes is on the other side. But credit goes to Bo Nix and this Denver Broncos offense when it comes to the fourth quarter and specifically game-winning drives. Bo Nix has shown up. They can play 3 abysmal quarters of offense, but when it comes to the end of the game, 2-minute situations, you gotta have it. Bo Nix has stepped up, whether that's been a crucial throw, whether that's been a scramble. He has been the guy to make the play to get the Denver Broncos over the hump in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, all season they've been the cardiac kids, and that fourth quarter has been their saving grace. In fact, they're 89-20 against opponents in the fourth quarter in the last 7 games. And together, Bo Nix and Sean Payton are 11-2 at home. That gives you a lot of confidence. But last Thursday night was atrocious. It was atrocious. And that Raiders defense had nothing, and the Broncos could not get it going. I am sorry. That will not be good enough to beat the Chiefs. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's in Mars. I don't care where it is. They have to be better, and Bo Nix has to be better. He's taken major steps back the last few weeks, and you look at these games against the Jets, a team that they should have been able to move the ball up and down on, and a game against the Raiders where the week before the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence had no problem moving right up and down the field. You have to wonder, is this a midseason crisis, or are they okay just winning by the skin of their teeth? I got to be honest, I don't love the way it went last Thursday. In fact, I felt much worse about the Broncos after a win than I would have had they had lost and scored 20 points.
Yeah, so this game will be a fourth quarter game. And to your guys' point, the Broncos have been great in those fourth quarters. I think that has to be concerning for the Chiefs because they defensively haven't been. And when you're trying to figure out why the Chiefs could be 5-4 and potentially 5-5, this team defensively has for years now had a person or a scheme that it could turn to in those massive clutch fourth quarter moments to get off the field. It's been Chris Jones. He hasn't been that guy this year. It's been Spags dialing up one of those crazy exotic pressures from all over the place. Someone comes free. Hasn't been the case this year. And I think this is a game that if we look back, is this going to be something where we say, you know, we can blame the offense all we want. That defense has not found that closer, whether who or what, to get them off the field.
And I think a lot of it, to what you're saying, is the who. I think when you look at whether it's a George Karlaftis or specifically a Chris Jones, he has been the guy to make play after play, or Trent McDuffie in the secondary. And when you don't have that, you got to imagine Spags is still dialing things up.
I think the problem, though, J-Mac, is I would say they want McDuffie being the pressure guy in those situations.
Can't right now.
But you want him to be the coverage guy in that situation.
Him and Watson have been on the outside, or he's in the slot covering someone. He's your best cover guy. So it's when they lost L'Jarius Sneed, you didn't have a replacement for him on the outside. You're vulnerable if you start moving and blitzing Trent McDuffie. So that makes that damn near impossible to really be able to do it.
And guys, if this does come down to the wire.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to the channel. Your home for everything about the Kansas City Chiefs. Today, I've got a story that might seem small on the surface. A bye week, a veteran player relaxing, but in truth, it signals something much bigger. It's about timing, renewal, and readiness. Because this isn't just any bye week for Kansas City. It could be the turning point. The Chiefs entered their bye week at 5-4, sitting third in the AFC West in what feels like the most uncertain start of the Patrick Mahomes era. They're facing rivals, they're fighting back into shape, and they have that critical Week 11 showdown at Mile High against the Denver Broncos, a game that could determine whether Kansas City will march toward a 10th straight division crown or watch it slip away. The bye week came at the moment it had to. Enter veteran tight end Travis Kelce, the guy who has driven this offense for years. He used the break not just to rest his body, but to refresh his mind. He said he just hung out, man, put the feet up, saw some cool places, ate some great food, got to feel the big city and its electricity. In that simple phrase, there's an understanding. This isn't about indulgence, it's about reset. It's about the veteran knowing the season is long, the body changes, the demands pile up, and the preparation must evolve. Let's dig into why this matters for the Chiefs. First, health and readiness. The bye week gives this team a chance to heal, to refresh, to get back to maximum. When you have players like Kelce on the back end of their careers, when you have reps piling up, you need these moments. The article pointed out that for the Chiefs, when they have a full squad and are healthy, we've seen what they can be. Second, psychology. This bye week arrives when Kansas City is staring at a battle within a battle. They're not just trying to win games, they're trying to reclaim dominance. They're trying to show the AFC West, the NFL, and themselves that the dynasty is still alive, still capable. And when a star player uses that pause to recharge, it sends signals. We're not done. We're not resting. We're rearming. Third, momentum. Many teams lose focus after being off. Many struggled to come out sharp. But for the Chiefs, under coach Andy Reid, history tells us something important. They've been excellent coming out of bye weeks. They have the blueprint. They know what to do. So the combination of rest plus veteran reset plus historic pattern equals a potential springboard. What I'm trying to say is this. The Chiefs do not need to go out and tweak everything. They don't need massive franchise-changing moves. What they need is consistency. They need the veteran legs reinvigorated, the coaching staff dialed, and the team focused on its path. Kelce's break, the health return of key players, the bye week lift, these are the components of that path. In this moment, Chiefs Kingdom, I believe we are in the middle of a rebirth. Not a rebuild, not a panic, but a recalibration. That's powerful, because when you recalibrate, you come out stronger, you come out sharper, you come out ready to run. And I believe the Chiefs are set to do just that. Conclusion, the bye week was not just time off. It was a tactical asset. Travis Kelce used it like a champion should. The rest of the roster has the chance to reset. The schedule ahead demands focus, the program and the culture demand excellence. Kansas City is using the pause to reload. They are using the intel of their past to build their future. And I firmly believe this team is going to rise. Now I want to hear from you, Chiefs Kingdom. Do you think this bye week will spark the turnaround? Do you believe Travis Kelce comes back sharper, that the Chiefs come out of the break stronger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're ready for the climb. And don't forget to subscribe to Chiefs Kingdom Report so you never miss the moves, the games, the moments. We ride together.